Chismosas, we gotta talk about this op-ed that Shakira just published a little over a year after this very public tax case that she had in Spain. Now, in case you guys forgot, the entire tax fraud case ended with her settling for over $15 million. And now she has a lot to talk about the reasons why she settled and how she feels about the entire thing. Now, the op-ed itself was over 1,000 words long, and it was originally published to El Mundo, which is a newspaper for Spain. But Billboard went ahead and outlined the 5 major points of the op-ed, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Now, before I go ahead and talk about those 5 main points that Billboard put out in this article, I want to go ahead and talk about how she started this op-ed because it was pretty heartbreaking. This is what she had to say. In 2023, I lived surrounded by cameras anxiously waiting to show the world how I was breaking down. No one missed a single detail, the tax court trial, the media divorce. It was too juicy a show to pass up. But the most frustrating thing was seeing that a state institution seemed more interested in publicly burning me at the stake than in listening to my reasons. Well, I think the time has come to give them. Now, despite her settling, she said, just like my songs, I seem to be able to live peacefully again, to turn the page. And I think that makes it quite obvious that she didn't believe that she was to blame for any of this, and she just did this for peace of mind. Now, let's dive into those 5 points that Billboard made. Number 1, a sexist tax agency. Shakira starts off the letter by explaining that in 2011, she would often travel to Spain to have a prosperous relationship with her then boyfriend Gerard Piqué, a famed Spanish soccer player who was tied to the European country for work purposes. She notes that it was also a challenge for her because it would require her to put a pause on her career and be away from her work base, but that her intention of traveling was to make her long-distance relationship work, not because she had intentions of staying or having a vocation of permanence. The op-ed, she says that the strategy contained a sexist prejudice and elaborates if the singer had been an American man, had fallen in love with a Spanish woman, and had visited her regularly, I find it hard to believe that the tax agency would have considered that he had an intention to settle down. There is a structural sexism that takes it for granted that a woman can only follow a man, even when it's not convenient for her. Now, I can't say that she's wrong, but let's continue. Number 2, complied with her obligation. Shakira claims that some technicians of the tax agency presented her as a singer who avoided fulfilling her tax obligations, when she says truth is she always complied with them. She says she paid all amounts, including the fine she considers unjustified and voluntary, once she declared herself a Spanish tax resident. And she assures that Spanish state kept a sum greater than all the earnings from those years. She said, my finances were investigated by institutions as little suspicious as the White House or the IRS and approved by other countries of the European Union. And in all that, they never found even the slightest sign of illegality, while a general director of inspection of the Spanish tax agency allowed himself to criminalize me in a television program even before the trial was held. They wanted to make the public believe that I did not pay my taxes, when the truth is I paid much more than I should have. The tea! Let's continue. Number 3 on the list, the Spanish decade. Shakira doves that she lived in Spain with her former partner and their 2 children approximately from 2012 to 2022 as a Spanish decade, one she also describes as a financially lost decade, though she worked and gave 120 concerts in 90 different cities during those years between the Sun Comes Out World Tour in 2011 and El Dorado World Tour in 2018. She reveals that her earnings today consist of what she earned before arriving in Spain and after leaving, not in between. Everything I earned in those years was kept by the Spanish state. She goes on to say that when she moved to Spain as an expatriate in 2015, the tax agency admitted that she wasn't a resident for the last 10 years, but tried to charge her for those years, calling it a trap. In the case of 2011, the strategy is particularly scandalous because I only spent 73 days in Spain, when the minimum established by law to be a tax resident is 183 days. They just wanted her money. But anyways, number 4. Number 4 is why now? Why is she talking about all of this now? First and foremost, she says it's for her children. I need them to know that I made the decision I made to protect them, to be by their side and get on with my life, not out of cowardice or guilt. If at the moment I made the decision to make a pact for my children, this time I made the decision to speak out because it is what my conscience asks of me. In closing, she talks about her relationship with Spain. She says that in this article, there is more truth about her than anything published in the media in 2023. And though she might be judged by the tax agency officials, she wants her fans to understand that my love for Spain and my dear Spanish friends and my family still endures. But not everything is the same. sometimes commitment to the truth is more important than one's own comfort. Now, these last few years, Spain has put this woman through the ringer, so I'm surprised she didn't do anything more than just write this op-ed. But I'm very curious to know what you guys thought about everything. Let me know down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow for more gossip, chisme, and all things tea.